Mediocrity is one of the most dangerous diseases in the world, and the worst part is, most people don't even know they have it. They carry it, spread it, defend it, and even celebrate it. And if you stay around these people long enough, you start becoming one of them without realizing it. That's why avoiding people who normalize mediocrity is not just advice, it's survival. Think about your current environment for a second, the people you talk to every day, the conversations you have, the attitudes you tolerate. Most people never question these things, they just absorb them. If everyone around you thinks the bare minimum is good enough, then eventually you start lowering your standards too. Not because you want to, but because humans adjust to the energy around them. You've probably heard someone say things like, "Bro, relax, why are you trying so hard?" Or "Just be grateful, it's fine as it is." On the surface it seems harmless. But the truth is, these sentences are dream killers. They're spoken by people who gave up on their own potential, so they want you to stay at their level to feel better about themselves. People who settle for average are threatened by anyone aiming higher because your ambition exposes their lack of effort. And let's be honest, mediocrity is comfortable. It's easy. It requires no risk, no extra effort, no accountability. That's why most people cling to it. They would rather stay in a life they secretly hate than push themselves into a life they genuinely want. But if you want to be rich, financially, mentally, spiritually, you don't have the luxury of hanging around people like this. Imagine you're trying to grow, you're trying to change your mindset, learn skills, build discipline, but every time you take a step forward, the people around you pull you 2 steps back with their negativity, laziness, and excuses. It's like trying to run with a parachute strapped to your back. You're moving, but painfully slow, and eventually you get tired and quit. That's how powerful your environment is. You don't rise to your ambition, you fall to your surroundings. When you surround yourself with people who normalize mediocrity, your goals begin to look unrealistic. Your work ethic starts feeling too much. Your dreams start seeming impossible, not because they are, but because you're in the wrong room. Greatness always looks like madness to small-minded people, and this is where most people fail. They don't have the courage to separate themselves. They're scared of being alone, of losing friends, of being judged. But here's the truth: a man talks about this all the time. Your life actually begins when you're willing to walk alone for a while. That's when clarity comes. That's when your identity shifts. That's when you start meeting people who think bigger, move faster, and hold themselves to a higher standard. When you cut off people who normalize mediocrity, you free up mental space. Suddenly, you don't hear negativity all day. You don't hear excuses, you don't hear complaints, and that silence is powerful because it gives you room to think, room to plan, room to grow, and eventually, you attract people who match the level you're trying to reach, not the level you're trying to escape. Rich people aren't smarter, they're not luckier. They just chose different environments. They refused to accept the limits society placed around them. They removed anything and anyone that watered down their ambition. That's why they win. So if you truly want to be rich, start by protecting your mindset. Avoid people who normalize mediocrity like it's a contagious virus, because it is. And once you escape that environment, you'll realize it was never your potential that was low. It was the people around you. The moment you upgrade your circle, you upgrade your life. Most people don't fail because they aren't capable. They fail because they keep waiting. Waiting for signs, waiting for opportunities, waiting for motivation, waiting for everything to feel right. And this mindset destroys more dreams than lack of talent ever will. When you wait for the perfect time, you're basically telling yourself, "My dreams can sit in the backseat until life magically aligns for me." But life doesn't align. Life doesn't pause. Life doesn't hand you perfect conditions. It moves with or without you, and the longer you wait, the more distance grows between you and who you could have become. The idea of the perfect time is an illusion. It's a trap disguised as logic. You think you're being smart by planning, preparing, thinking things through, but deep down, you're avoiding discomfort, you're avoiding failure, you're avoiding judgment. And the easiest excuse to hide behind is "I'll start when the time is right." But the time will never be right. You'll always be too busy, too tired, too stressed, too broke, too inexperienced. There will always be something. Think about the people you admire: the wealthy, the successful, the influential. Do you think they waited for the stars to align before they started? Of course not. They took action in the middle of chaos, uncertainty, fear, and self-doubt. They made progress when their circumstances weren't ideal, and that's exactly why they succeeded. Success isn't born from perfect timing, it's born from imperfect action. Truth is, Someone with fewer resources and less knowledge than you is already making money right now because they simply decided to take the first step. They didn't wait to feel confident. They didn't wait to feel ready. They acted, learned, adjusted, and grew. Meanwhile, you're still thinking about it. You're still researching. You're still organizing your plan. But planning without action is just procrastination dressed in productivity's clothing. The world rewards execution, not intention. No one cares how good your idea is if you never bring it to life. No one praises the person who almost started a business, almost launched a channel, almost learned a skill. The world celebrates winners, and winners are simply people who started before they felt prepared. You have to understand that action itself creates readiness. The more you move, the clearer things become. You don't gain confidence first, you gain confidence from doing. You don't gain clarity first, you gain clarity from trying. You don't gain momentum from waiting, you gain momentum from starting. Movement breeds the solutions you think you need before you take the leap. Waiting for the perfect time is also a subtle form of fear. It's fear of failure disguised as logic. If you wait long enough, you never have to confront the possibility that you might not succeed. But that fear is exactly why you have to start now. The faster you fail, the faster you learn. The faster you learn, the faster you win. Every successful person you look up to failed early and failed often, and that's why they succeeded sooner. Life will never open the door for you unless you push it first. Opportunities don't show up fully formed. They show up messy, inconvenient, and uncertain. That's the test. That's the filter that separates the dreamers from the doers. Anyone can wait. Only a few have the courage to move when conditions are imperfect, and those are the people who become rich, confident, and respected. So stop waiting for motivation, stop waiting for clarity, stop waiting for permission. Start with what you have where you are, exactly as you are. You'll never feel ready, and that's the point. Successful people don't wait for the perfect time. They make the time perfect by acting decisively. And once you adopt that mindset, everything in your life begins to shift. You don't need the perfect moment. You need to start now. Comfort is seductive because it feels safe. It feels familiar. It feels easy. And that's exactly why it's dangerous. Nothing great has ever come from comfort. No wealth, no discipline, no transformation, no success. Comfort is the silent killer of potential. It doesn't destroy you all at once. It destroys you slowly by convincing you that you're fine where you are. It whispers, relax, you can try tomorrow, but tomorrow becomes next week, then next month, then your entire life. When you live in comfort, you stop growing, you stop challenging yourself, you stop taking risks. You become soft mentally, emotionally, physically, and soft people do not thrive in a world that rewards intensity, focus, and resilience. Comfort is the enemy of ambition because it gives you just enough satisfaction to keep you from chasing something greater. Every rich person, every successful creator, every top performer you admire had a moment where they chose discomfort on purpose. They woke up earlier than they wanted to. They worked longer than they felt like. They learned skills that were hard. They pushed through days where nothing worked, where everything felt pointless. The only difference between them and the average person is that they didn't run from discomfort, they embraced it. The truth is, discomfort is where growth lives. It's where you find your strength, your character, your discipline. The gym isn't supposed to feel easy. Starting a business isn't supposed to feel smooth. Waking up early isn't supposed to feel natural. If it feels uncomfortable, it means you're changing, and change is the price of wealth. But most people avoid anything that doesn't feel good immediately. They seek comfort in scrolling, binge watching, sleeping in, eating junk, hanging around low ambition friends. These habits feel good now, but they rob you later. Discomfort feels painful now, but it pays you back forever. The moment you stop chasing comfort, your entire life changes. You start doing the things you used to avoid. You start showing up even when you don't want to. You start making decisions based on your future instead of your feelings. You develop a mindset that can't be broken because you're no longer controlled by temporary emotions. Comfort wants you weak, broke, and stuck. Discomfort wants you powerful, wealthy, and unstoppable. If you want to be rich, stop choosing what feels good. Start choosing what makes you grow. Your future depends on it.